It's 2021, and the world still hasn't reached a clear consensus about LeBron James. We're still debating whether LeBron is actually the greatest player of all time. Not even the legends of the game are immune to debating this amongst themselves. Some think LeBron has already surpassed his Airness, Michael Jordan. Some think he still needs a little more push to get him over the hump. And some firmly believe that he will never surpass Michael Jeffrey Jordan. So, without further ado, let's hear about what the legends of the game have to say about LeBron's legacy and where he ranks in the all-time leaderboard. But before we continue, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos. First, let's look at what one of LeBron's most avid supporters have to say about him. During an interview, when Lakers legend Magic Johnson was asked how close LeBron was to being number one, he had this.
LeBron James, to me, he probably is the best of all time, right? LeBron James, he has a chance to catch him later on if he can get some more championships under his belt. Chapter is not closed yet.
That's a good argument right there. This sentiment of LeBron needing more rings to get himself over Jordan is nothing new. Even back in 2013, when LeBron was still coming into his own in Miami, legendary coach Phil Jackson said,
"Better is only about the number of championships you win." And that's the only measurement that's left for LeBron that'll say, was a better ball player than Michael, or people could argue it. He's an unselfish ball player. So his game has continued to improve over the last 4 or 5 years. We don't see what the limitation is going to be.
Shaquille O'Neal also agrees with the fellow Lakers legend.
I think LeBron wants to be compared to Kobe or Mike. LeBron has definitely made his own mark. He'll have 4 rings. You already passed up Kobe. You already passed up Mike. Now he passed up Kareem. So if that don't make him the greatest basketball player is, I don't know, what we're talking about. Like when it comes to ranking, it's going to be Mike, going to be Kobe, and then probably LeBron.
There's no denying, though, that LeBron and Jordan are neck and neck in the GOAT race. It makes sense. The two were the era-defining players of their generation. Both of them had this air of invincibility around them at their peak. Like you needed a Herculean effort to beat them, and oftentimes they did. Jordan seemed like he could score anytime you wanted, and if he missed, it's a ploy to get into your head. For LeBron, it seemed that he always had a perfect grasp of the game, like a puppet master controlling the strings. In the simple words of Isaiah Thomas, "The best and most complete player I've seen in my lifetime is at King James, on and off the floor. He passed the eye test, and the numbers confirm what my eyes have seen in every statistical category. #GOAT. Let it be known." For all of LeBron's achievements and greatness, there's still a significant amount of people that try to downplay LeBron. Most of their arguments boil down to simply, LeBron can't win alone. They point to the fact that LeBron has built superstars as a knock to his legacy, saying things like, the struggle is what matters, and all that jazz. It's a tired argument that has a legitimate point that's being blown out of proportion. For example, just look at Charles Barkley's reasoning as to why LeBron isn't in his top 2.
Actually, in fairness, I haven't even put LeBron past Kobe. The reason I put Michael up there before those other guys, LeBron has stacked his teams. Let's be realistic.
This is actually a bit more forgivable. LeBron not being top 2 is outrageous in my eyes, but there are valid arguments as to why he'd be there. Barkley's reasoning is flawed, but his placement is sound, all things considered. However, Julius Erving isn't quite there. When asked about his all-time All-NBA teams, Dr. J caught flack for 2 things: putting Michael fucking Jordan on the second team and leaving out LeBron entirely. When asked why he left out LeBron, he said this.
LeBron, it's crazy to kind of pick him on the third team.
For sure.
Anybody he sort of picks with him, when he put together a team in Miami. Basically, he put together a team together in Cleveland as well, and put together a team in Los Angeles. Playing with so many guys led the charge of super teams being put together.
Yeah.
Leaving LeBron out of your top 3 is already messed up, but to leave him out of your best 10 players list over a reason that isn't even about basketball talent is completely absurd, and he rightfully got called out by nearly everyone except for Skip Bayless. Not to mention the fact that the concept of super teams predate LeBron James. Heck, even Dr. J himself played for a super team during his era. Finally, let's hear about what his competitor has to say about him. Back in 2013, Michael Jordan was asked about LeBron James, and he had this to say about Bron's playstyle and how he'd guard him. "I study him, LeBron James. When LeBron goes right, he usually drives. When he goes left, he usually shoots a jumper. It has to do with his mechanics and how he loads the ball for release. So, if I had to guard him, I'm going to push him left 9 out of 10 times. If he goes right, he's going to the hole and I can't stop him. So, I ain't letting him go right." That level of attention coming from a guy like Jordan is a mark of approval of sorts. Jordan will likely never admit that LeBron is better than him. That would go against everything Jordan stands for: ruthless competition and an utter distaste for anything other than first place. But the fact that he has already scouted out LeBron's skill set at that time and has probably run mental simulations of how he'd guard him is an acknowledgement from Jordan that LeBron deserves to be in that conversation. This skill set, by the way, is already outdated. LeBron at 2013 was at his physical prime, but since then, he's added more facets to his game. Surely Jordan has already accounted for them, but it's a testament to LeBron's greatness. We were already asking about the greatest of all time about LeBron 8 years ago, yet somehow he's better now, even though it's been nearly a decade. Jordan versus LeBron is a debate that will go on for time immemorial, and frankly, we may never get a true answer unless we magically transport Prime MJ and Bron to the current time. If we ever get a hold of a time machine or a fountain of youth to bring back the physical primes of these guys, I'd pay $1 million to watch that live. Was there anything we missed? If you like this content, please consider subscribing to our channel. Let us know your thoughts by leaving a comment down below as well. We will see you again soon with something new, so you can click that bell icon to get notified in the future. Till then, see ya!